It says you're live.
I'm live. You know, I can't keep doing the same "oh, I'm alive" joke because
I know it gets old.
it gets old. Yeah. So, but
it's kind of a dead joke.
Oh. That's.
I know it was funny.
Deadpan humor. That's what that is.
At least our microphones are on.
That's true. We know that because we were in the green room with our special guest. We didn't even say we're having a special guest. It's like a surprise guest.
But now you've told everyone.
Well,
all one person that's in here. And now it says 0 again. So
now we're talking to ourselves.
What's new?
Well, if you are watching this in the future and you're like, what are they doing? We do a podcast called Fintastic Cruising. You may or may not already know that. The podcast comes out in a normal podcast format, but we do record it live, typically on Friday nights. And we come on about 8:45-ish. And then we start it at 9. And once we start it, then it's less of a live stream, more of a podcast. So kind of you're the studio audience, so to speak, if you're watching live. And but sometimes we do include studio audience,
depending on the subject,
in the podcast portion. Hey, Gina, how's it going? Now we have.
I can't figure out where to put my mic. I think I'm happy with that.
You got that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
I'm satisfied.
You know what I realized? If these mics didn't have these silver things, they'd blend in better.
That's true.
But then again, is that like kind of cool, like studio look? I don't know.
It makes us look cool.
Does it make us look?
Hi, Stacy.
Professional. Hey, Stacy. Cheers.
Two people from the same household. I appreciate you guys being separate. It makes it look better for us.
Also, if you are watching this in the future, or if you come on now and you haven't already, hit that thumbs up
and subscribe, and go like us on the podcast apps and stuff.
Yeah, and things. How are you guys?
Get off the extension cord. Lay on the bed.
He always lays on the extension cord.
I don't understand why.
It's his thing because it makes noise. His crinkly shark's still up there from last week.
Right here. Here, you want me to put it right there? Now you're next to me. Come lay down.
He's not about that. Reno is disrupting everything. We haven't even started.
He's good. Look, he's a happy dog.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if he's a happy dog in a little bit. Reno almost cost us the cruise, so we almost didn't get to go on the cruise because of the dog.
I would have figured it out.
We basically, our dog sitter fell through that we thought was going to sit our dog, and then our two main backups were not available. Our third backup not available. No kennels around had availability. We ended up finding somebody on Rover in Sarasota. We have to drop the dog off in transit.
Yeah.
And then
we're like, we are we're heading down to Miami. Can I drop my dog off with you on the way? I don't know who you are.
Yep. Yes, Stacy, we did have a busy week. Well, it started on Monday. I don't know. Does the week start on Monday or Sunday?
My week starts on Monday.
Okay, it started on Monday, and of course we worked because we work Monday through Friday. But then Monday night we went and saw Neil deGrasse Tyson, which was awesome, like in the true sense of the word.
You haven't talked about that at all.
We haven't had a podcast since then.
Well, just in general,
I talked about that for several days after.
Not to me.
No, well, we talked about it that night. I don't know. Gee whiz.
Jeez, did I waste my money on you?
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, as I was apparently not saying, that was really awesome. And yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a great science communicator, and it was really cool. And then I don't know, the rest of the week, it's just been, I don't know.
It's been weird.
I
feel like I don't have time to do things.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we come home and we watch a lot of Star Trek. So there is time. I just don't feel like there's time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a happening week, and then we have the weekend. We're going to go to the medieval fair tomorrow in Sarasota.
It's a lot of Sarasota in our
Yeah.
lives right now.
And then we probably have to do laundry and stuff and get ready because on Thanksgiving Day we're driving to Miami. So
Stacy said, "Did you get any living things at the reptile show?"
Oh yes, that happened too.
Well, about that, we got dead things.
We did. We got lots of rodents, rodentia.
Actually, we got 25 of them to be specific.
25 rodents.
We got live crickets.
We did get live crickets. Many of which have died since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here I'll
Are you gonna put it on?
Yeah, because I don't think he's ready to come out this week. But whoa.
Just go to StreamYard.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He knows.
But yes, we did get a new friend. And I'm going to add a picture of him to StreamYard here. I should probably add the picture of his dad too. Huh?
Yeah.
So people know, because it's not like maybe what you would think.
He's pretty great. It actually took us 3 days to come up with a really good name for him that we that really stuck with us.
Yeah. Let me just edit this picture a little bit because it's way, when somebody takes a picture in portrait mode and they really shouldn't have, that's what this is. So let's see.
Eventually you'll get, I guess I could bring up the picture of him while you're uploading that. Here he is. Are you ready?
Sure.
Speaking of portrait mode.
Yeah. Okay. So we only have a few people in here, but if you know what kind of animal that is, guess in the comments and we'll tell you if you're right. And then we'll tell you what it is.
If I were guessing, I would say lizard.
Okay. You're going to have to be a little more specific than lizard.
I just wanted to
throw that out there. You're going to probably have to be a little more specific than you think, because there is another answer that would be not specific enough. So, but if you know what that is, his name is Churro. That's his name because he's sweet and spiky. And yeah, he's a very, very, very friendly lizard. Even friendlier than Luna was as a baby. He's
wonderful. You just stick your hand in and he climbs onto your hand and just sits there. He's not scared or runny at all.
By runny, she means running or runny. I don't know.
I mean, he's green. He's kind of like snot. Oh, Stacy said he'll remember when we say it. He said it's a cute green lizard. It
is a cute green lizard, which is...
You want to show his dad and see if that gives it away?
So
I don't think anybody's going to get it.
He is not the lizard that a lot of people might think he is, though, which is illegal in Florida. He is not illegal in Florida, at least not yet. Hopefully he won't become illegal in Florida like that happened to us with the tegu, which we had. Our tegu is legal, but we had to get permits and stuff for after the fact.
Because we got her right before they decided she was illegal.
Yes, but a lizard with a similar name called the green iguana is illegal in Florida because there's so many invasives. This is not a green iguana, but it is a type of iguana.
Do you want me to put his dad up, or you want me to wait?
No, go ahead. Put it up there. And this is his dad. So he's not going to stay green. He's green as a baby. And then as he gets bigger, he's going to turn yellow and black. So this guy is called, you want to say what it is?
Do you want me to?
Sure.
It's a banana pectinata.
Okay. Or you could just say a western spiny-tailed iguana.
I could, but
it's the banana morph.
But it makes me sound smart when I use.
Well, then you should say the full. Do you know their genus name? Because it's one of my favorite genus names. That's why I put you on the spot.
You're
on the right track.
Tinosaur?
Tinosaura. Yep.
Yeah.
Tinosaura with a silent
pectinata.
silent C. Tinosaura pectinata. Yeah.
I was gonna say Teidae, but that's Luna, right?
Pectinata Teidae is Luna.
Yeah. I was confusing myself.
Pectinata is also the species name of one of the sawfish.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Josh at work just watched a thing, like a video presentation somebody did from, they did it over at, I can't think of the name of the park that's over in Pinellas where people kayak. But anyway, they did a presentation on the sawfish, which is, I thought was gone from Tampa Bay, but apparently they have found some specimens, like the population is starting to come back.
Oh.
And their population is a little bit stronger in like around Central America and stuff. But, and this is really sad, one of the leading causes of death of, I think it's a small tooth sawfish, is that they are hunted because people use the teeth on their rostrum for cockfighting.
Oh.
Like I guess it's supposed to be better than other spiky things, which I'm not really a fan of cockfighting anyway. Like that's a really cruel and horrible thing. But now they're killing an endangered species. That makes it even worse. I mean, at least if they're cockfighting, you can eat the chicken, but it's still a horrible thing to do to the animals. But yeah, so that was interesting. But it was good to hear that their population is starting to recover, because I thought they were pretty much toast. So
I skimmed that thing that he sent out. I didn't. I read something about, he put on there something about their teeth. The little teeth that they have is like what they have when they're born is what they have like all the time or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They have like a sheath around the sawfish rostrum when they're born. Sawfish is not the cruise creature today.
No. Gina said iguana, so she was close, and then Gina said yeah, and Stacy said I was wrong. He is currently, like, his body is what, 3 to 4 inches maybe.
I mean, I'm a white male. I'm going to say that's 7 or 8 inches right there.
Okay, well, here, let me put my hand. It's probably about here, but of course his tail is the same length.
Yeah,
so
he's
a little longer. Yeah. So his tail makes him twice as long, but his body itself is probably 3 to 4 inches.
They don't get huge. They don't get like the same size as green iguanas, but
he'll
like
probably
that was Dad in the picture with the hand, so that gives you an idea. Oh, he'll get a bigger. If it is a male, which we don't know.
I'm not counting his tail.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit bigger than that.
You think Del Monte's not that much bigger?
No, I'd go with about.
Oh.
I'd go with about like that, and then and then the tail. Yeah, I think 4 feet is
with tail.
With tail, yeah. Where green iguanas get like 6.
That's how old is that? I don't know.
No, but Dad is full grown.
Yeah, a churro is 3 months.
3 months old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little baby.
He was born right around the same time as Data.
Yeah. But the cool thing about him is, like, when we went to do our research to get a lizard, we were looking at tegus, and we were looking at not green iguana species, but other iguana species. That was one of them, because we have one at the aquarium and they're beautiful. And I've seen similar species in Honduras. This one is not in Honduras.
Matt, you have 1 minute.
But we ended up with the tegu, which we love our tegu. But so we're at the show, and we see them, and they're really pretty, and they're not super expensive. And the guy's like, "This is the best lizards I've ever worked with." There's like an old timer herp guy, and he's like, "Reach your hand in there and go ahead." So I put my hand in there, and like 2 of them just jump on my hand and just like sit there. And I'm like, "Okay, you got me."
Stacy said another big cage. What's great about it is, yes, it will be a bigger cage, but he's arboreal, so it'll be tall, not vertical, not long like Luna's.
Probably like maybe 2 by 3 by 5 tall.
Yeah, it'll fit a lot better. I mean, Luna's fits fine. It just takes up the space of a couch.
We've also come to realize that Luna did not need that big of a
no, she doesn't utilize it.
She uses like a very small percentage of it.
Yeah.
Ever.
All right.
She's a small tegu.
It's time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Come with me, we're going on a Fintastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might not have thought of. All of the things under the water. Nature surrounds us with elegant features. You can't go on a cruise and not see the creatures. So let's make some magic, let's get ecstatic. Instantly classic, maybe romantic. The wildlife around you, cinematic on your Fintastic cruise.
Bimini, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fintastic Cruising. I am Matt.
And I'm Kimbra.
And we are the Fintastic Cruising Podcast. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We are excited because next week, at this very moment, we're going to be on a cruise ship.
Sailing the seas.
Yes, or the sea, the ocean. Ocean and the
Caribbean Sea.
The Caribbean Sea. Yeah, well, we'll be in the Atlantic Ocean at this point.
The seas around the Caribbean
the
area.
A's, the B's, the C's, the D's.
The waters.
But yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. And that obviously, if you've seen the title of this episode, we are going to be discussing that. We actually have a special guest, a good friend of ours, who we have in the green room right now. And we're going to bring him on because he was on the Scarlet Lady, the Virgin Scarlet Lady, just a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And so we've got questions and he has answers. So we're gonna find out some things we're curious about and get a little bit of his impressions on Virgin Scarlet Lady. But before we do that, is there anything that you want to tell the people out there?
Well, I do have to promote the group cruise, which will be March 12th, 2023 on the Carnival Pride, going to Grand Cayman, Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel, leaving out of Tampa. Join us.
You just pointed, but there's a big thing.
I realized that as I was doing it.
People are listening too. They don't know. Look, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
fintastictravel@gmail.com. Now you can
That part is important. This is what I'm going to tell you. If you don't sign up for this cruise and come on this cruise with us, you won't be on it. So that's reason enough right there to sign up and book this cruise.
Yes. There's actually, I've got some people that are like, yes, we're going. And they haven't actually booked yet. So,
oh, well,
one of them,
I mean, they've got time.
That they do have time. One of them didn't book because we were on a cruise and she couldn't pay for it yet because we were on a cruise.
No worries. No worries. Look, plenty of time. Like
I know there's time.
Shoot us an email and we'll get you on the cruise. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see creatures galore. We're going to have fun too. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff and just lots of socializing and hanging out with the people.
Maybe some cruise ship D&D.
Oh, if we get the right group, which I think we've already got people that would probably roll with that.
I've been in like a
roll with.
Yeah. I've been like in a D&D craving.
We haven't gotten our D&D itch scratched.
No, it's been a while.
We haven't had time. It's like this is our last cruise that we have booked until the group cruise, although we're going to be on one next October, this coming October. Maybe we'll get one in before then, but we've had so many cruises. It's like we don't have time to recover from the last cruise. Like we haven't even fully unpacked, I feel like.
No,
since
the suitcase still has
August
stuff in it
or something. I don't know.
I have my backpack there that I walk on. I don't even empty it out because I just put the same stuff back in it. So it's just full and ready to go.
Not that we're complaining. That's not a problem that I mind having at all. But it is a problem. It's a problem I'm thankful for.
I told Matt today that I found a cruise with a really good rate in December and he's like, we can't do that. I was like, but it's a really good rate.
Yes. Yes, I was going to respond with something like, "Hey, there's a free drinks and food in Sydney, Australia this weekend too." But it doesn't matter because we can't do that. So and I just made that up.
You got a lizard, so I should get a cruise.
I got a lizard?
Yeah,
I don't think there's an I in there is an I in lizard, but there's not an I in that lizard. There's a we in that lizard.
There's also an I in cruise.
It's a wee lizard too. It's a wee lizard. I've got to practice my Scottish accent because we're going to the medieval festival or fair in Sarasota tomorrow. I get to wear my kilt. The first time I've ever worn my kilt out in public because I got it during the pandemic. So, and then I just haven't had. I mean, we did go to the Tampa Bay Renaissance Fair and I didn't wear it.
Yeah.
But
I
this time,
need to get an outfit. I keep putting it off because I'm like, I'm going to lose weight and I don't want to spend all this money. And I've been saying that for like years. And at this point, I should just buy it because the weight is what it is. I mean, it will eventually come off, but if I want the outfit, I should just get the outfit.
Well, and knowing you as well as I do, which I think is pretty well, Renaissance festivals only happen like once or maybe twice a year. If this one's decent, we'll maybe have twice to go a year. So by that time next year, you'll be wanting to get something new anyway, because that's just who you are.
Oh, is that what you think?
Can I get a new Renaissance outfit or something? So
I see. Is that what you think?
Do you think am I wrong?
Maybe
not. Okay, so
let's talk about things
and stuff. Are we ready to bring on our friend?
I think so. Is he ready? I think he looks
he
like
gave us a thumbs up.
He tried to talk, but he doesn't. And then he realized that we can't hear him yet.
It's like we're playing a trick on him. What?
We can't hear you.
What? All right, guys. So this is our good friend Brian, and we've had him on the podcast twice before.
Once.
Was it just once?
Yeah,
I thought he was on twice.
He's the one that convinced us to become travel advisors.
I thought we had him on after that too. No,
I don't think so.
No?
Just once,
okay.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, just once. Okay. Well, then he's well due to come back on and tell us all about the Scarlet Lady. So, welcome, Brian.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now, the first thing I have to say, Brian, is that every time you go on a cruise, and you cruise a lot, you always post a picture on the first day, and you're almost always wearing that shirt. And I just want to say that we appreciate that.
My favorite shirt.
Represent
my formal attire for cruising.
So, Brian, you were just on. How many weeks ago were you on the Scarlet Lady?
Yeah, we went on October 24th through the 29th, which I think it was the 4th U.S. sailing. They did a couple sailings over in Europe, and then they brought it over to the U.S.
Okay. So one of the first ones over here, and here's what. I have so many questions. Do you have a lot of questions? I have a lot of questions. I'm just curious because
I do.
There's a new cruise line.
There's one in particular that I really need to know about because I need to know. No.
Oh.
It can wait until we get to it.
Okay.
But I need to make a purchase, and I need to know what kind of purchase to make based on this question.
Oh, I think I know what this might be. All right, so let's start at the beginning though, because we are in the times that we are in, and every other cruise that we've been on in the last few months, we've had a different protocol than Virgin, where we had to go and get tested and that sort of thing. But we haven't really heard anything from Virgin. Like, we kind of know what the scoop is, but can you tell us about like what their policies and procedures are for getting onto the cruise ship in this pandemic that we are experiencing?
Yeah, excellent question. And it's ever changing. So this is how it was when I was there, and I think it's still like that right now. So Scarlet Lady is the only ship in Richard Branson's Virgin Voyages fleet right now that's sailing out of Miami. So what they're doing is it's 100% vaccinated only. You have to bring your vaccination card with you. So you show up down at the port of Miami, and they have 2 different terminals that they're using. So you show up at one terminal, and it's 15-minute intervals. So you'll have a boarding time of, say, 2 to 2:15, 2:15 to 2:30. You line up in your boarding time. They're going to come by with a clipboard with a barcode. Virgin is very tech heavy. You scan it, and you register for a COVID test inside the terminal at that time. You get into your 15-minute blocks. They're going to bring you inside within a few minutes of your 15-minute block. So don't show up an hour early. It's not worth it. You show up, you go inside. They have all your paperwork and everything ready for you. They register you right inside. You take a COVID test right there. They put a bracelet on you. You wait for your email to come through that says you're negative, you're positive. If you're negative, you get to go through to the next terminal. And I'm not sure what happens if you're positive, We both tested negative. And it's a very quick process, 15, 20 minutes from the time you're standing on the curb, testing, test results, and then you start walking inside the building to the next terminal where you actually log in, register for the cruise.
Cool. That sounds good, because I'm trying to figure out, like, how are they going to get all, I don't even know what the capacity of Virgin is or what they're selling at, but I'm like, that's a lot of people to test them, get the results and get them on. But it sounds like they've got it pretty much ready to go. Like, it sounds like they have a pretty good system in place to get that accomplished then.
Yeah, they had, I'd say, 10 lines inside for 10 different testing stations. I found out that the week we were on, there was 1,111 guests. And I want to say the ship holds about 2,300 people. I don't have the exact number. And so everybody processed right through.
Okay. So then it's probably, I don't know what it'll be for us when we go, but it was about 50% capacity, it sounds like, for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the great things about it is it alleviates that pressure of having to go get COVID tested before you cruise and paying for COVID test. We're cruising next week, and I'm scheduling 4 COVID tests, and they want $100, $150 a piece. And it just adds that extra cost. And so this just takes that away. And one other thing I would want to note is that Virgin requires a passport to cruise. So,
okay. That is interesting, because I was just having a conversation with people today at work about that. And they were like, you can cruise without a passport? I'm like, if you're cruising out of like most United States ports and you're not going like overseas, then yes, but Virgin doesn't, they don't do that, huh?
No, yeah, they require a passport.
Interesting. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. I mean, we always tell people, get your passport anyway, because if you get, you don't want to get stranded somewhere and then you're stuck and have all kinds of problems, but that's good to know. Good for people to know.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have any pre-boarding or boarding questions?
Well, I have some questions about the bracelet.
Oh yeah. We got our bracelets in the mail.
Excellent. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So it seems like when we got on the app, it was just like, set up your bracelet, and they just wanted you to put a pin in. So that seemed easy.
Yeah. So the bracelet, it seems kind of weird at first, like putting it on with the little hook and so forth. But I'll say it never came off the entire 5 days we were there unless you took it off. So it did hold up well. I did catch it on a few things, so just be aware of that. But it worked really well. Scans, it's your IR for everything from logging on and off the ship, opening your room key for your door. Whenever you go to sign for anything, they just scan your bracelet. So it does work really well. And what I didn't notice was that your name is engraved into it. So just make sure.
I saw that, yeah.
I didn't even notice that until we got there. So just make sure you have the right ones on.
So if you have the bracelet on, you don't have do you even get a cruise card, like the ship card or whatever?
No, that's it. That is the entire paperwork. That's the boarding pass and so forth. And from what I'm told, it's made out of recycled materials from the ocean that they've recovered. Very eco-friendly cruise line. I'll say that right off the bat. They're very eco-friendly. No paperwork the entire time. So there's no paperwork to even log in. Everything is done through the bracelet.
That's interesting. I like the bracelet. I think it's really cool. But one of my things is I like to keep my little ship cards because it has all of the information. Like, it has the date, the ship, it has all that information on it. And of course, the bracelet doesn't have that. So anytime that I cruise on Virgin, I won't have that.
You have to find something to replace it with.
Yeah, I
can make you a ship card. You want me to make you a fake ship card?
Maybe. I buy a keychain on every ship that I'm on, but that keychain just represents the ship, not the cruise itself.
But the idea of not having to carry that card is very appealing to me. And I do absolutely love that Virgin tries to be eco-friendly. Like, all the cruise lines are quote unquote eco-friendly, but most of them are just doing it for optics. And that, I don't think that they're doing what people will notice, and they're doing some more in some cases. But I feel like Richard Branson has really gone out of his way to do things that nobody would have expected them to do, and that to me is really cool. And hopefully that'll set a precedent for the other cruise lines and make them get in line with that, which is good for the whole industry. Because if we want to go to these places and enjoy them, we need to be responsible visitors. So
yeah, and it goes on beyond that with the eco-friendly, everything from there is no paperwork on the ship, so there's no signing for receipts. And we can talk about that. They only sell the reef-friendly sunscreens on board, and just a lot of stuff. You'll see it here and there. The tours are all eco-friendly, and they have sustainable tours and certified personnel for that. So they do a really good job, and they pointed out no single-use products. So
that's great. Just an awareness. And I mean, in the long run, that's going to probably benefit them economically too. In many cases, it will. In some cases, it won't. But
yeah,
that's awesome. Do they provide free sunscreen? I heard that when they were first announcing. Do they have free?
So I heard that they were going to provide the free sunscreen. I never saw it. We bought a bottle when we went on to Cozumel before we left to go onto the beach and stuff. We bought a bottle in one of the gift shops, but I didn't see any of the free stuff. But I did hear when they first started promoting the cruise line that they were going to.
Yeah, that was one of their things they said. Is it Stream to See that they're selling?
I took a picture. I'll let you know in the comments below what it was. But yeah, we did end up buying a can of it. I just don't remember the name of it.
Okay. Yeah, Reef Safe sunscreen is and the stuff that Stream to See stuff is good for the reef. It can be a little rough to use, so I always tell people, just if you're going to be on the reef, try and cover up as much as you can. Eliminate the need for it. But of course, anywhere in the water near a reef, if you're putting on sunscreen, you're essentially putting toxins into the water that is literally killing our coral reef system. So try and do the best you can. That's what I tell people without getting sunburned.
So one thing that, keeping kind of with the subject of what Virgin's doing, is the hammocks on all the balconies. How was that?
The balcony was one of the larger physical size balconies I've been on in a long time, reminiscent of the older cruise ships. So you actually had a lot of space to sit out. The balcony, the hammock itself, super comfortable to sit in. You could lay out in it, and they actually had little tags on it for the company or the island that it was made on and so forth.
Oh, cool.
But people really enjoyed them. I enjoyed sitting out on it, just on a sea day, just relaxing on it. Did a lot of blogging from it and so forth. But yeah, very comfortable. And they were heavily used. You could see people on them when we pulled into port. You look up at the ship, a lot of people were sitting on them.
They look comfortable. If you're watching this right now and you wonder what Kimbra's doing, the dog just threw up. So that's what she's doing right now. But that is cool. And so it seems like a little bit bigger balcony. The room that has is it like the thing where it's a couch during the day and a bed at night? Was that how the stateroom was?
So it's set up that way where supposedly like one portion of the bed will swing over and cover up what is a table during the day or a small leveled area. When we got into the room, it was set up as a full-size bed or a queen-size bed. We never saw it swung over. I don't foresee anybody ever doing that. We just put one of the suitcases there, opened it up, and worked out a suitcase, and then the other suitcase we unpacked and put in the closet.
Okay.
From what I'm told, you could do that as a couch, but I don't see it happening because of you'd have to take the bed sheets off, you'd have to realign everything, and for my wife and I just to sit on it, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I like the concept of it is interesting. It would make more sense for like a college dorm room, I think, than actually a cruise ship cabin per se.
Yeah,
but
as it.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So all right, so tell us when you got on the ship, what were your first impressions when you first got on the ship?
So right away, what I noticed, and I had cruised a few weeks before on the Mardi Gras, and on that one, you had to wear a mask in certain spots. You didn't have to wear it in other spots. When we got onto the ship here, they were just like, okay, that's it. You don't have to wear a mask the entire trip, which was really nice. It's 100% vaccinated, 100% tested right there at the port, including the crew gets tested periodically as well. The crew did wear masks. So
okay, wait, let me just make sure I heard that right. So once you're on the ship, You don't have to wear a mask?
We didn't wear a mask again until we got off the ship and came back to the airport.
I'm not like against wearing masks, but that at this point of the game on a fully vaccinated ship, that just makes sense to me. And I'm actually really glad to hear that. So that's cool.
It worked out well. So most cruise ships, when you walk in, there's a big atrium, there's a big, promenade on Royal Caribbean and so forth. This one, you walk in and it's just, it's an open area, but very vibrant, very colorful, and music playing, DJs going. And so we just walked over, we had a drink. There's no big 2-story, 3-story, 4-story atrium. It's one story that goes down one. And they did have a lot of music playing. And throughout the whole cruise, they had a lot of music playing. So we grabbed a drink right away and started seeing the different drinks and the different bars and so forth, and really enjoyed the different the atmosphere as that goes.
Now, I've seen some pictures and video of the ship, and so I kind of have some ideas and impressions of what it looks like. But in my mind, I just picture the entire ship being red, black, and white. Is that pretty accurate, or is that just my misinterpretation because I'm just imagining that?
It's very misconception. I'm sorry. So originally the photos were of a red and white ship, but when you get there, it's actually almost like a battleship gray with red. The red is very vibrant, and especially at night with the Virgin written out and bright red lights and stuff, and there's red lights all over the ship. Throughout the ship, it's got a lot of bohemian atmosphere, a lot of like Tommy Bahama almost towards the aft of the ship in the dock area, and different areas of the ship. It's almost like an IKEA feeling at certain points, and very mute, lots of artistic style seating, and it was designed by hotel personnel, not cruise ship people.
Okay.
So, lots of small pocket areas, and like every time, and people told me this, they're like, every time you go around a corner, you're going to see something new. And we were there on day 5, and we were still finding little seating areas and little cubby holes that people were sitting in. And it's like, wow, this is just like really totally different. Lots of different seating styles too. Seats everywhere. There's more public space than there were people. That's for sure.
Especially on a lower capacity cruise, I guess. That's awesome.
Especially on a lower capacity. Yeah, there was no problems finding seating. But even if there was, I would say that maybe around the pools, and we'll talk about that later. But as far as public seating inside, in the lounges, the bars, the restaurants, there's public seating everywhere, and it's all different kinds and styles and sizes, and stuff for 2 people, stuff for 4, 6, 8 people. So they really took into consideration whether it's big groups or small personnel.
Cool. Now, you mentioned drinks, and that is something that I'm curious about, because we got, they don't do a drink package, which actually this deal kind of works out better for us for the most part, because we don't normally do the drink package, but we spent a certain amount and we got a little bit of extra money towards our bar tab, essentially.
Yeah.
What kind of drinks do they have, and what were the prices like on those drinks?
So what you're talking about, the added sailor loot. So it depends when you book, they give you different perks and so forth. When I booked, I got $100 in extra sailor loot on top of my $300 tab. So I got $400 in credit.
That's what we got.
That's what we got.
And it was used for more than just the bar. You could use that in the spa. You could use that in the shops and so forth. So you definitely do that. Even if you don't plan on buying $400 worth of alcohol, you got to buy $400 worth of something on the ship, not food, because that's all included. But you'll go through the $400 if you would on any normal cruise. Drink prices were comparable to, say, Carnival. I noticed that like Norwegian really jacks the prices up, $15 for a gentleman jack or $16 for something else. And then, $15 and lower is included in the price, but because everybody has a drink package. On Carnival, I think gentleman jack was, say, $10 or something. And that was about the comparable price to this ship. Some of the whiskeys were a little bit more expensive. Some of the wines were up there. They're big on champagne. I didn't find the prices too expensive for what I would drink. The beers were, $7, $6. But one of the things on there is the gratuities and everything is included in your drink pricing.
Oh.
And unlike so say you go on even Norwegian where it's included, or Carnival, and they have you sign for it, and it's like, all right, your gratuities are included in there, but you can sit here and sign for another gratuity if you want to add another $1 or $2. They don't even give you, that's it. They wave your bracelet, and there is no option to give them an extra gratuity. If you want to give anybody gratuity on the ship, it has to be in cash. So it's more of a personal thing, one-on-one to the person, versus signing for it and having going into a pool and then they're all dispersing it just later on. So the drink prices were on par with cruise ships. They don't do the drink packages at all, but you do get that bonus depending upon when you book. Now, I would recommend anybody who's ever remotely interested to give Fintastic Travel a call right now. Make sure they give you a call, book a cruise within a certain period. I want to say it's their inaugural season, but they haven't said when the end of it is. And you become one of their sailor mates for life, or I forget the exact terminology.
Yeah, it's through the end of December. I think you have to sail for the first year.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when the cutoff date of actually sailing was, but they're going to give you a bonus for life of, I want to say it's $100 every time you sail and you buy that sailor loot. But look into it. But I know there's a perk for life if you book within a certain amount of timeline in their inaugural season.
It's really fascinating. This cruise line is trying so hard to break the mold and in so many ways, from the decor to the way that you buy drinks and these kind of things. It's like you can tell they're trying to really make that big entrance into the cruising world and try and really impress people up front, which is, that's a brilliant business strategy, I guess. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. She's looking up that.
I can't remember what it's called, and
we can find it and tell people about it next podcast too.
I'll find it because I told someone else about it in an email. I'm determined now.
She's on a mission. All right, well let's go to food then, because so when I know another difference with the Virgin ships is going to be that there is no upcharge food. Everything is included when you pay for the cruise, right? Is there any food you can buy extra at all, or is it?
It's Sea Blazer.
Sea Blazer.
Yeah. It's an extra $125 when you purchase a 300 prepaid bar tab. You'll have that forever, and $300 off your next sailing in 2022. So you only become a Sea Blazer if you cruise before the end of December 2021.
Oh, this year. So get on it quick.
Get on it quick. Yep. So the food, I like to compare the foods on the different cruise lines and so forth. This one, I'll say, I've been on 9 different cruise lines, I think it was, is probably one of my favorite in the terms of there is no upcharge for any foods. If you go on Royal Caribbean, you go to Playmakers, they charge you for the buffalo wings. If you go to, this one, they charge you for the sushi. This one, no matter what you wanted for food, it was included. The one item that was an exception to that in the steakhouse was some dry aged steak with lobster, and it was in small print on the menu. And unless you saw it, you would never even know it. But every single food, from appetizers, hors d'oeuvres to the wings, if you're on the pool deck and you wanted stuff, you put a little flag up, and they come over and they just give you hors d'oeuvres and appetizers and foods. All the specialty dining is included. Even if you go to the soda bar, they have a classic soda bar, and you go there and they have candy jars in the background with gummy bears and Twizzlers and all that. The candy by the pound, that's included. You just ask them for a handful of gummy bears.
Oh, that's bad. That's good, but bad.
Yeah. The ice cream shop where, Ben and Jerry's on Royal Caribbean is a charge, or if you go get the little snacks on Norwegian or Carnival in the bake shop, those are an upcharge. Everything is included. Every food piece is included, which was really, really nice. So you could try different things. And when you went to different restaurants, you could just say, just bring us 2 or 3 of these. We're just going to split everything. It didn't really matter as far as costs go. So really, really excellent on that.
Now, when you eat food, there's different ways you can do that. So let's start with breakfast. It seems a logical place to start. What are your breakfast options on the Scarlet Lady?
All right. So one of the things that they point out is that they don't have a buffet. So they have what they call the galley. It's kind of like 9 or 10 food trucks, if you will, like all different themed areas. And one of those is a 24/7 diner. So you can, that's a breakfast place. And there's other breakfast options up in the galley. One of the really nice things is within the galley itself and at different places throughout the ship, they have takeout containers or takeout refrigerators that you just go up to, and they have all pre-made foods already in to-go containers. They're reusable to-go containers, and they have them all ready to go. So if you go out into the dock area, if you go into the galley, they have different to-go containers that you can just grab and go with. But you can go into the galley, and some of them are, you go up to the different stations, depends on the station, but you can go up to the different stations and either order right there and take it away. So maybe the bagel station, you can just take it right there, or the fresh fruit station, you just take it right from there, and they're serving you everything. There's no self-serve. But if you wanted the scrambled eggs and bacon and sausage, and they do have bacon every day, if you wanted all that stuff, you would just sit down at a table, and within a minute or so, somebody will come over and take your order of what you want from whatever of the restaurants and bring it back to you in a couple minutes.
And that's in the galley area?
That's in the galley area. So we would go up and grab, say, fresh fruit and yogurts and sit down. And on all the tables, they have the barcodes. So you can figure out what you want from the different restaurants. But somebody would come over and just kind of ask you what you want. So you just say, I want A, B, or C, whatever you really want. And then they would offer you orange juice, coffee. They'd bring it right to you. And then within a couple of minutes, they would have the hot food just delivered to you. So unlike a buffet where everybody's going their own separate ways and looking around and then trying to find a table together, no, you go find the table, you sit down, you order your food, they bring you your stuff. So it worked out well for us. And again, we were on a 50% capacity sailing, so there was tons of empty space.
Right.
So that's one option. Also in the galley, what I really liked is they kind of all the tables and throughout the entire cruise ship have USB jacks or electrical ports built into the tables.
Wow.
So if you're sitting there, and there's a lot of bloggers and people working and stuff, but you could actually just plug in your laptop or plug in your cell phone while you're at the tables. So that worked out well. Not all the restaurants, but a lot of the restaurants would be open for breakfast. So we went to the Wake, which is the steakhouse.
Yeah.
One morning we went to Razzle Dazzle one morning for breakfast. We did takeout one morning from Razzle Dazzle for breakfast when we were in Cozumel. We did takeout from there. So the specialty restaurants do have options, and then the galley is the other option.
Now, I think maybe you've answered this in just your description, but when you first brought up the galley and the food truck concept, and something I've had in the back of my mind ever since I heard we're not doing a quote unquote buffet, does it feel like a buffet still, sort of like the deli at the Carnival buffet, or does it just totally feel different?
It feels like, say, one of the Norwegian breakaway classes, where there's different stations, but it's much more separated than those. They do have a burger bar. They do have a dessert area. It's a salad bar. And they're very separated versus one long one. So they do have different sections, which was nice. It's not the traditional buffet, if you will, but you can go up and grab stuff from the different stations. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Okay, cool.
But it does feel like a big open kitchen area or a big open dining area. Yeah.
So lots of options for food. That's like, I'm getting more excited about the ship as we talk about it. I'm already excited about this cruise, but I'm just getting more excited the more we talk about it. Do you have any food questions for breakfast?
Not for breakfast. I just have an overall food question, but
okay.
you can continue through the meals.
Well, before I forget to ask this question, it kind of ties into overall food too. Is there a room service option at all, and what does that look like if there is?
So I heard that there is breakfast options. We never looked. And it was one of those ones where it was like the last day, and we're like, we didn't even see if there was room service options.
I rarely ever do it, but I'm always curious about it.
Yeah, we didn't even look. But one of the things I did want to point out is, like, I have a lot of food allergies and so forth, and they do a really good job on this ship with different food allergies or different food options. So, for example, like Razzle Dazzle is pretty much a vegetarian restaurant. They have a naughty menu, is what they call it. And they do have some options for meats in there, but for the most part, there's a lot of vegetarian options. They have vegan options, including desserts and so forth. And then they do have the gluten-free options all the way down to the pizza shop has its own pizza area for gluten-free pizzas. Cool. And I did try that, and it was really good. So they do a great job with the different dietary needs of people. Okay.
Well, let's move on to lunch then. What are your choices for lunch? Kind of the same deal?
Yep, same options and so forth as the dinner options or the breakfast options, where it's multiple different restaurants throughout the ship. And again, there's takeout containers. So in the breakfast time, you go there and it might be granola and fruit in some of them. By the time you go back for lunch, there'll be sushi or sandwiches and other different quick pick options in them. And so you can just walk in, grab them, leave, go out to the pool deck and sit out there. If you're on the dock, which I believe was deck 4 aft, you just sit down at any of the tables or benches or seats or whatever. You just put the little flag up. And there's a couple other little lounges that have the same option. And you put the little flag up and they'll come over to you, and there's a menu right there on the table menu. And you can just order, beef sticks or shrimp skewers or different options as far as the food goes for that too. But a lot of people went to the galley or the restaurants.
Okay. That's pretty cool. And you said you tried the pizza. How does the pizza compare to other cruise lines in your opinion?
Yeah, so I only eat gluten-free pizzas. So they pretty much all use the same crusts. I would say that Carnival and this one are the best. Royal, it was okay in the past. Norwegians was okay, but they always switch them out and so forth. Okay. But this one did have a lot of really good pizzas. But I can only speak for the gluten-free crust, which was decent. I would eat it.
What toppings did they have?
All sorts of everything from, and they all had funky names, and I can post a picture of the different names. One of the ones that we did try, I think it was called Pretty Fly for a White Pie. And it was like cheeses and stuff. And we had a margarita pizza. And so more than just the sausage and pepperoni, they did have, flavorful, colorful pizzas.
Cool. I'm waiting for you to ask her.
You're waiting for my
Yeah.
What was your favorite restaurant option?
Bar none, it was the test kitchen, which was a very eclectic, almost like the Wonderland on the Oasis class ships, where it was, I think it was 7 or 8 courses of very unique individual offerings. So small samplings. We did it with a wine pairing, which was $35 a person. And you got really, really nice wines. And they did individual pairings all the way down through dessert. And they gave you good sized glasses. So if you're going to do the test kitchen, which was the only restaurant we found to sell out on any given night during the course of our 5 days there, definitely I'd recommend doing the wine pairing with it. It's worth it.
Was there like a lot of seafood mixed in with it, or like did you have choices? Like was it a one linear path of food? Or
yeah, so at the test kitchen, here's your 8, this is what you're getting. At all the other restaurants, there are multiple options,
right?
Whether in everything from, even in the Italian restaurant, they had vegan, vegetarian style options, or they had one gluten-free option on the pastas and stuff. So, but in the test kitchen, it was, here's the menu, and we talked to the waiter, said, hey, we're going to be back here early next year. Is it going to be the same menu? And he was saying it's probably going to be the same menu for a few months, and then we will start changing over. Probably, as the clientele comes back. So you might see it. If you go back in 6 months, it might be the same. But if you go back in a year, it might be different.
Okay. Was there a lot of seafood in the test kitchen's offerings?
No.
I only ask because we don't like seafood. So
Yeah, no.
Wondering if we should do the test kitchen.
I don't recall there being a lot of seafood. There might have been like one of the 8 might have been a seafood, maybe 2 of the 8.
Okay.
But even at that, I would say probably not even that much.
Okay. Interesting. So you have to make reservations for these dinner places. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So when we went, and it's fluctuated a little bit since they started. When we went, you could book reservations 14 days out on the app. The app was very finicky. So I just called Virgin Voyages and said, hey, I'm sailing on these dates and I'd just like some help making my reservations. What I learned was only 50% of the reservation times were available on the app. The others would be available once you're on the ship. And you can go up and make reservations for 5:30, 6, whatever it was, walk-up reservations. So I called up and we sat there day by day with a schedule and said, we wanted on sail away day, we're sailing away at 7:30. We want a 6:30 dinner reservation. So that way we're in the restaurant during sail away. And on this day, we want to have it at this time. And they worked with us on all the different times. And it was very, very simple. Some people were trying to make it on the app. In the app, again, it is finicky. You'll see low ratings on the app store for it because it gets finicky. You might have to uninstall it, reinstall it. I'd recommend reinstalling it right before you go down to Miami to get on the ship to make sure it works. But reservations were very easy, and you could even do walk-ups, and you could go to any of the restaurants during the day or whatever and just ask for it, or you can make reservations once you're on the ship.
Okay. So you ate at how many different restaurants in the evening like that then? You ate at the test kitchen?
Yeah.
You ate at Wakes?
The Wake.
So I put it down just to make sure I could get it all. So we were on the ship on a Sunday, and we had dinner at the Wake, which is the steak restaurant. And one of the things I learned there was that the people in the Rockstar suites their seating is better positioned. They're the ones that are going to be near the big windows in the very end. So you're on deck 3 where you're dining right down low, but you can get some of the side windows in the regular balcony rooms. Monday night, we ate at Razzle Dazzle. And again, that was kind of like the vegan vegetarian. It's a little darker in there, and it's very opposites. And we talked to the waitresses, and I'll talk about the staff later on, but they were telling us all about how the food there is designed to throw you off, kind of like the Razzle Dazzle during the World Wars with the ships and the paint schemes on it. And they'll tell you detailed stories of how they came up with different concepts. And so this one is like the food looks one way, but it tastes another way. Or you think it's going to be this, and it's kind of like that. And so
I would love that. I feel like you, Kimbra, would hate that.
I would have a real hard time with that.
I would embrace it, and you would be like, "Oh no, this is wrong."
We would have to go get something to eat after, probably.
They had some of the best French fries I've ever had in my life in that restaurant.
Oh,
and people would go back there just to get French fries. So I'll give them that. We really enjoyed that. Tuesday night, we did it at I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Janobi or Janobi. It's the restaurant where it's the Korean
like
barbecue restaurant where they cook on the table in front of you. And so you're seated with strangers, and you play games, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but you have a really good time and you get friendly with all the people that you're dining with. And they just kind of throw like whatever you order, everybody's going to start splitting it. So just have them throw a whole bunch of food on there, and there's all different stuff that you'll have. And it was all delicious. We had a good time. We did leave there and go get some food somewhere else afterwards. I didn't fill up. I think that I probably could have if I realized how short, the different steps of the meal. But we really enjoyed the time there. It was definitely the most fun restaurant to go to. And they give you shots of different alcohols, and you play games, and you definitely have a lot of fun in that restaurant.
Is it when you eat at these restaurants, are you normally eating with other people at a table, or are you often eating at a table with just your party, or how did that work out then?
No. So in the wake, we were at a 2-person table, and next to us were people at 2-people tables. In Razzle Dazzle, the table that we were sat at was probably for 20 people. We were off to the side, maybe 5 or 6 empty seats, and there might have been another couple, 5 or 6 empty seats, another couple. That one was, they sat, we'd met another couple that day. We all hung out. It was, hey, we're going there, they're going there. So we went together, and they sat us with 4 other people, 2 or 4 other people. So we were all together at the table. They were total strangers, but we all had a great time together. And then the last couple nights, we had met other people on the ship and just hit it off with them and hung out. And we went to dinner with them, one couple one night and a mother and son another night. So,
yeah. Okay. Did you go to the Mexican place?
Yeah. So the last night, we had gone to dinner at the Italian restaurant, Extra Virgin. Then I went on shore to Bimini to see the fires and the nightclub and stuff like the beach party at night. We then made reservations to go back and eat at the Mexican restaurant just to make sure we hit all the restaurants on the ship. And we went back there for another full dinner. So yes, we did go to the Mexican restaurant.
So which one did you say was your favorite? You said the test kitchen was your favorite.
Yeah, the experience in the test kitchen was really I really enjoyed my time there and the intricacies of it and the food and so forth. The wake was just a delicious filet mignon. And so if you want steak, it's a great spot for that. Razzle Dazzle was I had one of those imitation meat burgers. It's something different. I'd never had one before, and it was on the menu, so I tried it. And then the Italian restaurant was delicious, and we did a lot of we ordered like 6 or 7 different meals, cut them up, and so we got to try a lot of that too. So that was really good. The Mexican one, by the time I got in there, I was full. I picked that stuff, but it was the last night. We got like a 10 o'clock dinner reservation the night before we're checking off. So it was definitely a last ditch effort to get in there.
Who had the best dessert?
Ooh, so my favorite place to go, there's a soda shop. So I have a lot of food allergies, so I can't eat nuts or anything like that. So it eliminated 70% of the desserts. But they have a soda shop in the aft area of one, and it's like a classic fountain soda place. You can go there, and you can actually get sundaes, but with alcohol in them. So those were nice to get. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
And you could also go to like the ice cream bar. Lick Me Till Ice Cream is the name of the ice cream bar. And you can get ice cream sundaes there and so forth. So that's what I pretty much stick to.
That all sounds great. I don't think 5 days is enough. I think I'm going to need more.
We've actually reserved 2 of the restaurants, but now I kind of feel like we should reserve the others.
Yeah, we're going to have to reserve the rest.
Whether we love everything at them or not, it sounds like there's plenty of food in other places to take care of.
Absolutely.
That.
Absolutely. I mean, if I have to eat sundaes for my dinner, I will fall on that sword.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be cold and mushy.
So one of the interesting things is Virgin they're trying to stay in port late. So in Cozumel, we stayed till 11:30 at night. And then in Bimini, you stay till about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. So you can take advantage if you want to go eat on the economy out, in Cozumel or something like that, or go eat on the ship and then go back into town. You can do that too.
Well, that's pretty good. Pretty good deal. So, all right, well, let's see. What should we talk about next?
Well, I have one major question that I need answered. Tell me about Scarlet Night.
Oh, we can't talk about Scarlet Night. No, I'm kidding. So
the first rule of Scarlet Night is don't talk about Scarlet Night.
So they start setting up for it throughout the day, and you'll start seeing different random things popping up and so forth. And then when the Scarlet Night kicks off, a lot of people go to that main atrium area, which is only 2 stories tall, and they have it decorated with different things, and they start telling a story. And the entertainment on Scarlet Lady is very different than a traditional cruise, if you will. But this one brings it just brings it to another level. And the party starts in one area of the ship, and then we'll move to a different area of the ship, and then go to another area of the ship. And almost like I almost like to refer to it like was it Michael Ailig of the Club Kids back in New York City? Like if he was a cruise director, this would be his ship, where it's just like lots of pop-up random entertainment and stuff like that. And this was part of that, where people just start acting out or singing in different shows. And a lot of people wearing the red, and it ends up in different parts of the ship and then down at the main pool area late night and stuff.
Cool.
So
were a lot of people like dressed up, or like, so basically I found a dress that I could buy, but then Matt mentioned like buying like some red t-shirts that we could cricket, and I'm like, I just don't know which level to go with.
It went everything from the formal gowns with high heels and jewelry to a polo shirt or a t-shirt to nothing, like just average beachwear, and everything in between. It was kind of almost like people didn't know what to wear. Like you were saying, like, do I wear a dress? Do I wear a t-shirt? And no matter what you were wearing, it would be totally acceptable. And whatever you want to do, makes you feel comfortable. One of the things that I'll point out, unlike any other cruise line, there's no photographers around. So they don't point, there's no cameras. They take your own photos wherever you are, or somebody else will take it for you, but there's no photos being taken of you all the time. A lot of people like that. So but it's not in your face photos.
Go ahead.
That answers my question.
Okay.
I just wanted to know what I should wear.
So, like, I wore a red polo shirt. That was it.
So what about the entertainment on this ship? What offerings do they have?
Yeah. So one thing I noticed right off the back, there's not really a cruise director. They have different entertainment personnel that will do stuff, and we had one lady that was there that she was kind of like a cruise director, but she just did some singing and dancing and stuff throughout the ship. But there are no announcements on the ship. So the only PA announcement we had the entire time was to tell us that we were going to go rescue some refugees that we found on a raft.
Oh, right. I remember you talking about
that. Yeah. Tell us that they COVID tested them, and to tell them that the Coast Guard was coming to pick them up. Those were the only announcements we heard the entire week. So that was, it was different. But for the entertainment, you kind of had to look for it, right? It wasn't like, oh, now the show is starting. We're going to start the show. There's shows going on, but you kind of either had to know about the start times and go to them in the theater, or they would just be pop-up random things like that Scarlet Night, where they would just start singing, or there'd be a random person just start singing in a lounge at a certain time, but some of it was scheduled, but some of it wasn't. So the scheduled stuff, there was a show, as a dueling realities show, is I think what they call it, and it was supposed to be a Romeo and Juliet story, but it was done with Cirque du Soleil style entertainers, where they're doing the jumping and the trampolines and the poles and the hula hoops and the different artistic style entertainment. And the blue team and the red team, the blue team and the red team. So that was one of the shows. They did have almost like a burlesque style discussion show that we didn't attend just because the timing wasn't right. And everybody just kind of went, it was different. It was definitely different. It was like a discussion and interaction with the crowd. Very adult oriented, I guess, kind of like, what's the thing on the Royal Caribbean, the scavenger hunt style adult.
Oh, right.
Kind of like, that level of risque, if you will. Okay. They did have some pop-up performers here and there. One night, the first night we were there, they had a pajama party up on the top deck, and they had a lot of singing and dancing going on and just different random pop-up stuff. So there's a lot of that. I know that over time, what they're doing is, for example, the people that went on the week after us, they had a little bit different entertainment. And then a friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, Adam, was on it, and they had totally different entertainment. So there's from what I'm gathering, is the entertainment is evolutionary, where it's changing over time.
That's great.
So
you could sail that ship and not see the same things over and over again if you're avid
So
cruisers.
So even like the cruise director, I forget her name, Abby was her name, where she was, by the time we got off the ship, it was her last sailing. So she did 4 or 5 sailings, and then she was leaving. Some other head entertainer or someone was coming on for a little bit. And they're doing the same thing with the squid tattoo parlor, which is unique to this ship. It's the only tattoo parlor at sea, where they're bringing on different tattoo artists every couple of weeks, and they're all from the TV show Ink Masters. So, so they're all TV talent, and they'll tell you all about the time on the TV show. And they were booking. People were booking the tattoo artists, and it was individual negotiations for pricing. But from what I'm gathering, it was comparable to land pricing.
Well, I know Adam got that like little octopus tattoo, and the price for it was a little high, but it wasn't unreasonable for, like you expect to pay more for a drink on a ship or something maybe than on land. It wasn't that much more. And I always tell people when it comes to tattoos, that's not where you want to skimp. You're not looking for the Black Friday sale on tattoos. So
you don't want the lowest bidder on that.
No. That's not when you should be looking for a deal.
We had looked into it, and Stephanie was going to look to go get a portrait, just priced it out just to see. And the price was, I guess, decent for what you would pay for something, maybe a little bit expensive, like you were saying. But the big intricate ones, they would only do while the ship was in port in a dock.
That makes sense.
The smaller ones they would do at sea in that one, but she'll stick with her tattoo artist that she's.
Yeah, my thing is when you get a tattoo, you can't get it wet for like a week, and I'm like that's not going to work for me.
No, and that was, we questioned that, and I mean, Matt, I tell you, they were lined up for 5 days to get tattoos from open to close. There was days that it was sold out.
Like I know a girl who got a tattoo. She worked with me for a while. She got a tattoo and she went swimming too soon afterwards, despite being told not to, and it got infected and it messed up her tattoo.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Yeah, not for me. So, but people were doing it.
Interesting. I mean, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe if you could do it on that. I mean, not everybody goes in the water, I guess. And if you're just going like in a hot tub, depending on where it is, you might be able to avoid the water. Yeah. Or, you can cover them up, I know, but like you wouldn't want to go in the ocean with it. You probably wouldn't want to go swimming in the pool with it. But interesting. I'm just curious how they handled all that.
Yeah, so. That's people were doing it. I not for me.
What other? Do you have any other questions about the ship and stuff?
My other question was the tattoos.
Oh, okay.
And we just talked about that.
So okay. I know that we can tell that you liked the ship. If you had like your elevator speech for the ship, like what would that be? What were your overall impressions, I guess, of the Scarlet Lady and Virgin Cruise Line?
Some of the other, I just want to point out a few other differences that I noticed while I was there. Number one, no smoking in the casino.
Oh,
we could go spend money at the casino.
Sure.
100% no smoking. The only smoking area on the ship was one area upstairs, outside, towards the aft on a side. That
is good to know.
What else? So the exercise intensive. Like if you're going to run a group cruise for a fitness club, or if you're going to run a lot of people, like I like to go running on the cruises. Every morning I wake up, I go do my laps. The dedicated running track was phenomenal, because a lot of cruise ships, it's just a secondary thought. They put it out there just to say they have it. This was a dedicated suspended 2-lane running track that was marked off with mile markers and quarter miles, 100-meter markers. And they had water stations on it. And the only people on it were the people dedicated to going. And it was probably about 7 or 8 people at any given time out there on it. But the way they had it set up was really, really nice, and was unobtrusive to anything else on the ship. But it did allow for that. The exercise facilities were really nice in that they had a good cardio area and a good weights area. But then they also had like boot camp classes and CrossFit style classes, yoga classes. They had outdoor and indoor exercise facilities with active participation. And a lot of people seem to really do it. And on Virgin, like I said, everything's included, from your gratuities to your non-alcohol drinks and so forth, including the exercise classes. So, you know, you go on another cruise line, they might charge you $25 for a yoga class. Well, they have the whole top deck and everybody's out there doing sunrise yoga. And those are included. The ship's design at some areas were kind of weird. For example, the spa, depends on the services you were going. Some of them were in the main spa area, and then some of them were up on another deck. So if you're getting like nails technicians done or manicures, pedicures, it was in a totally different area. So it depends on what you're getting done. It would be dependent upon where you're going.
Okay.
We did do a spa pass for a day.
Oh.
And so we've done them on, you know, the Dream class ships and some of the Norwegian ships and one of the Royal ships. But on this one, you know, you buy it by the day, not by the week. You don't get a spa room.
That's awesome.
You know,
I like that.
I think it was $70 for the day, and you can come and go as you please. You had your own, you get a locker, and they would give you robes and slippers. And they had the heated lounges area, but there were flat lounges, but bigger. Cold plunge pools, which were ice cold. Ooh. And then one jacuzzi, one thermal suite, steam room, sauna, one or two other style areas. So it was enough for one day, but not enough for a whole week. So, yeah. You know, you go on the, say the Breakaway or the Bliss or something, you have snow rooms and lots of big thermal areas. And it's like that, but on a smaller scale.
Okay.
Definitely good for a sea day. But other than that, I wouldn't break into it. But the ship, the vibe of the ship I got, it was an adults only. And so it was a mixture of everything from the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, all the way up to the 60s and 70-year-olds. It was tech heavy. So you do have to be comfortable with your phone, but they did have paper menus. They did have paper or physical things to help you with if you needed to make reservations and stuff. So don't let that deter you. But they don't push things, not at all. There was no sidewalk sales. There's no, if you wanted an excursion, you would have to go find the excursion thing. They didn't stop pushing it on you every 20 seconds. There was no, you know, constant announcements. There was no trying to upsell you in the spa. We went to the spa, we had a treatment, and then we're like, well, how do we, you know, tip or whatever? They're like, no, that's it. They didn't try to sell me Elemis products. They didn't try to, you know, it was just like, no, that's it. I'm like, well, I want to leave you an extra tip. They're like, no, it's included. That's it. I'm like, well, can I bring you cash later on then? Or I'm like, yeah, yep. So there's no signing for anything. You know, if you want something, you get it, and that's that.
That's cool. Wouldn't you love to have been a fly on the wall in the meetings when they were planning this ship and they were thinking about all these things? Because, you know, they like went on other cruise lines and they were like, here's a list of things that we don't want to be, and here's a list of things we do want to be, and then let's find our own unique footprint. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and the staff. So I talked to a lot of staff. I always enjoy talking to them and where they're from and so forth. And they were able to be themselves on this ship more so than on another ship where they're sitting there comparing tattoos with you. They're telling you about themselves. They have face piercings or whatever. And they're like, yeah, this is, you know, we love being here. They retained 90% of their staff after COVID.
Wow.
Which for one ship, that's amazing. They were looking forward to coming back to the ship. You talk to them, they're like, no, I've worked on Disney, Carnival, Norwegian Princess, Celebrity. They're like, we really like it here. They're like, we get treated really well here. They would tell you, they're like, you know, you get treated really well on Disney as a client, but we like working here better.
Was there a common place that many of the staff are from? Like some ships, it seems like it's mostly Philippines or things like that. Were they more diverse internationally, or does it seem like most of the crew are from one area primarily?
We talked to a lot from Vietnam.
Okay.
Some from the Philippines, India. A couple of the bartenders were from India that we would talk to. Some from England. Depends on the positions and so forth. Some from Italy. One of our waitresses, the Italian restaurant, our staff was from Italy.
Oh, nice.
So whether or not that was on purpose, I don't know. But they were from Italy. they were excellent. So yeah, the standard, a lot of Eastern Europeans and stuff.
Did they have room for an American marine science teacher that could teach them about the ecology?
I would say, like, if any cruise line did, this would be it. This would, if you can't get on one of those
or Holland America
National Park Services,
that's cool.
This is the kind of ship that would have something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So it was a good experience. It sounds like it was amazing.
We cruised, 3 or 4 times a year, and I would say that I would look forward to going on this one again. They set it up to almost be like a big party atmosphere, but we found it to be more tranquil and relaxing than. I remember Richard Branson saying that he tested the tables, or they tested the tables to make sure that you could dance on them.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see that kind of party atmosphere. The one of the hits that I would say on it is Bimini, so we pulled into Bimini and everybody gets off and you go to the beach, and it's a beautiful beach club. They take in a tram, you go down to the beach, and Bimini itself is a small little island, and you can rent golf carts for the day. There's no need to. You only need it for an hour or two if you want to go down the street. And it was nice. We rented them for like $30 for 2 hours, and we went around a little bit. But you go to the beach club, and they serve a really nice lunch, a very nice lunch from, say, like 11 to 1, something like that. But there was no other food options. You couldn't go get snacks. You couldn't go get French fries if you were hungry or anything like that. There was no food options. And the running joke was the blender was broken at the bar that was open. And it was broken the week before from somebody I talked to the week before. And then I talked to somebody from last week, and it was still broken. So the running joke was that the blender at this bar, you couldn't get frozen drinks.
Got to have frozen drinks on the beach. Come on.
You couldn't get frozen drinks on the beach. But after lunch, they shut down the restaurant area for a little bit. And then they opened it back up from, I want to say, 3 to 6 for a dinner. But at 6 o'clock, there was no more food there. That was it. And so now you're at a beach bar, you're having fun, you're in the sun, but you can't get any food. So this was my one big hit that I wrote on my customer feedback survey, was that you're trying to keep people there. And all the videos and everything, the promotional materials is all this big beach party and the bonfires. So like I said, we went back there that night, and we got there, and there was only a handful of people. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely stunningly beautiful with the bonfire. They had 3 big bonfire balls going, and the pools were all illuminated, but there's no food. And so people were back on the ship eating dinner. And then, some people just didn't want to get back in the tram and come back. And there's not much going on. There was a DJ. So there's nothing going on there except for these fires and no food. So my recommendation was, you're going to need some kind of entertainment there at the beach and some kind of food there. So just be prepared that if you want to go, grab those takeout containers that I was talking about in the galley,
right,
and bring them back to the beach or something. So
how long is the tram ride from the ship to the beach? About
it might be a quarter of a mile. It's very short. They use those trams kind of like the ones in the Disney World parking lots to bring you up to the gate.
Okay.
Where, everybody jumps in them and they pull out. The first stop they stop at, I want to say it's a Hilton hotel, and there's a casino there.
Okay.
And there's a shop or two, and they have golf carts. And then they pull in there, and they're trying to give you the spiel to rent a golf cart and stuff. Like I said, if you rent it for an hour or two later in the day, you'd be fine. Don't spend the $60 for the day. It's not worth it. And you can't take it to the beach club because the beach club's gated and they don't let golf carts in. So so then they drop you off at the beach club and you go in. So one of the other things, Wi-Fi is free with Virgin,
right? And
it works on the ship and it works at the beach club.
Nice.
And so there's like a free good product, and then there's a better and a best. I did live streaming, video face calls, and all sorts of calls and live streaming with the free package. Never once had an interruption, never had any problems. 1 or 2 spots on the ship might have been spotty, but if you just walk a little bit further to a router or something like that, you'd be fine. But even out on my balcony, I did some live streaming and stuff, like when we were rescuing the refugees.
Yeah.
You could, without a problem. So there's no need to upgrade that free internet package, which other things that are included in that, all your gratuities are included on the ship. So your room gratuities are included in the price. And when you look at that price on the internet, it's for the room. So it's not per person, it's per room. So that's for the 2 people or 3.
Right.
You can add a 3rd person or 4th person, but for the most part, I think their business model is 2 people to the room. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Any last questions? Are you excited?
I am excited.
Excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to go on the ship.
I've done like the training and stuff, and I've seen the videos, and I see all this stuff. But to hear about it from someone that's actually been on it is like makes me even more excited.
Pretty cool. Okay.
They've got lots of unique drinks. You can all grab those. And then, do you remember which stops that you guys are going to have on the trip?
We got Bimini and Costa Maya.
Okay.
So we're excited about Bimini because the scuba diving and snorkeling is supposed to be phenomenal there. Yeah. So we booked a 2-tank dive, and then we're going to try and snorkel at the beach club and see what that's like.
Okay.
Costa Maya, we're doing Maya Chan, which I know you've been there, and I've always seen good things about it. So we're going to try that out. It's kind of an all you can eat, all you can drink beach kind of hangout. So yeah, pretty stoked.
Excellent. Yeah, you'll enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing the pictures and the videos along the way. So
cool. Well, listen, Brian, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
You want to do the cruise creature while he's on?
Oh, or? you want to hang out for the cruise creature?
Yeah, we're gonna. I've got Noah here with me, and I'm sure he'll.
Bring him up.
Cruise creature.
All right, we'll roll the cruise creature credit.
He's
We could have done Noah as a cruise creature. Whoop, we lost this. Oh, there we go.
Noah, this one's for you.
There you go. So we were struggling a little bit to come up with a cruise creature, but it is almost Thanksgiving. So we thought, let's do something turkey related. And at lunchtime today, we saw the Turkey Vulture. So a little bit different cruise creature for us this week than your normal tropical animal. But in reality, the Turkey Vulture is found throughout the entire Caribbean. In fact, it's there year round, and it goes into the kind of more northern in the United States in the summertime. They get pretty big, about 6 foot wingspan. And they're all black bird, but their head is red. So they're all ready for Scarlet Night.
That's right.
Turkey vultures, though, are one of several different species of vultures, and they have some interesting things that make them a little different than other birds. And I know you have some fact about turkey vultures you want to share. I don't want to rain on your parade. So what is your turkey vulture fact?
I'm going to read it out of the book. This is the birds of Florida that I got for my birthday. I know it's of Florida, and this is like, but that's okay.
But
you'll see them everywhere.
It applies.
So it's basically about regurgitation. So
puking.
They do that a lot.
It's the theme of the week in our department.
But basically, let's see. It enables and what? Sorry, there's a glare right on my words. So it enables and engorged vultures to lighten up for a quick takeoff and works as a defense mechanism. A trapped vulture will vomit up its stomach contents at a would-be attacker.
I mean, that's effective.
So it's like, I'm going to come get you. And it's like, nope.
Right. It'll puke and it'll puke on their nest. Well, they also regurgitate food into their babies' mouths. I mean, that's a bird
thing.
That's a bird thing. But keep in mind that vultures are eating carrion. So they're eating dead stuff to begin with. Now, one thing, though, that people I think have a kind of a little bit are misled on is vultures do eat dead stuff, but they don't like rotten, gross stuff. Like they would prefer freshly dead, just recently dead,
right.
Recently deceased food.
So if I want to kill and then not get caught, I just do it
by a vulture. Some turkey
or
vultures.
A group of vultures.
Yeah, that could work. I mean,
but they won't eat the bones.
They won't eat the bones. So you're still going to get
so
caught.
With that, So
probably just don't kill people. I think that's probably the lesson to take away here.
Okay.
But here's the thing about vultures. They have no feathers on their head. So they're like bald headed because they're cool. That makes them cool. But also it allows them to get into the like stomach contents and stuff of their dead food without getting their hair messed up, or their feathers messed up. But I think this is the coolest thing about vultures, and that is that most birds don't have a well-developed sense of smell. Most birds can't smell at all or have a very, very weak sense of smell. Vultures, however, are like the Virgin Cruise Line of birds, and that they're like, no, we're going to be totally different. And so they have an extremely good sense of smell, which allows them to find that allows them to find that perfectly dead food item, which they can then eat and then vomit onto would-be predator or into the young vulture's mouths.
All right.
But look, if you're interested in turkey vultures, no matter where you live, if you're in the United States, you can probably find them at some point. Maybe not if you're in the northern United States, because they're all down here now. But you'll see them soaring around. They kind of hit the currents in the air, and they just kind of glide around. And we have in Florida, we have black vultures and turkey vultures. Black vultures are all black, but they have white on their wings.
That's actually what I was going to talk about. I wanted to see, are black vultures found in other places too?
I don't know what their total range is.
Because I was gonna talk about they're there too. Okay, so yeah, black vultures. Sorry, I'm gonna jump in because it's the one thing I actually know. So if they're flying high, which is normally what they're doing, to identify which vulture you're seeing, the black vultures have white on the tips of their wings, and the turkey vultures has like white all the way across.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up a picture, but I don't know if I can use it because it's not ours.
If you just Google the difference, if somebody is curious.
But that's how we were. I guess today we were walking around and there were all these vultures, and he was like, "Are they black or turkey?" And I was like, "Look at their wings; they're turkey vultures." You can't see
their heads when they're way up in the sky.
Yeah.
Noah, we got Noah on here. Noah, do you have any favorite creatures? What's your favorite creature that you've seen that you could see on a cruise?
Probably a dolphin.
Good choice. I mean, we made it our logo.
Or a sea turtle.
That's a good one too.
Also a good choice. Yes, that was a runner-up for the logo actually.
Have you done any encounters with either of those?
No.
You saw some in Alaska.
Yeah.
So dolphins. What else? You see whales. A lot of whales. Lots of whales. Lots of bears.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, we haven't done any dolphin encounters or anything like that. St. Thomas Sea Turtle Farm or anything. Not yet.
You'll get there. Cool. All right.
Cool.
Anything else you got?
I don't think I have anything else. I've got to doctor my dog.
Yeah, the dog Reno is apparently in heavy need of something because he's barking and
well, he hasn't felt good.
Yeah, he's been a little under the weather. So, well, listen, thank you again for coming on tonight and talking to us about the Scarlet Lady and Virgin Cruise Lines and making us even more excited than we already were, which is pretty crazy because we were already pretty stoked about this cruise. And do you have any place that people can find you? Any links you want to give for stuff?
Yeah, I usually do my blogging out at facebook.com/bfcruise. That's follow along there, all the different expeditions and so forth, whether it's land-based or cruises. I try to just do my travel blogs on there. Next week, we're heading out a Mariner of the Seas. We're going to test out kids during COVID on cruises.
Yes. So we may have you guys back on to talk about that. But so check out BF Cruise on Facebook, and you can see all of his pictures and videos that he took on the Scarlet Lady and his many other cruises. You've been on several cruises recently, right?
Yeah, a couple in the past couple of months. They've been inexpensive to get on. So
yeah, they've been throwing them at us, right? Yep. It's crazy.
So I definitely tell people, give you guys a call and book and get out there while low capacity and low costs. I know we got Black Friday sales coming up next week, so they should be definitely giving you a call and trying to take advantage of them. Remember, the prices will only go up from here.
Right.
You can book now, and at that low rate. And if it goes down, hey, you can rebook them. But if it goes up in price, you're not going to be able to get those lower prices in the future. But definitely take advantage of it. It's the safest way out there right now for traveling. We've been to amusement parks and theme parks and resorts and cruises. There's nowhere else that's testing every single person.
Oh, for sure.
For every single person.
Definitely. I felt very comfortable every cruise I've gone on, and we've been on. This will be our 4th cruise since since they started back up again. So, yes, absolutely. Well, listen, thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and roll the credits, and then we'll be back to hang out.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having us.
All right, thank you, guys.
Bye.
All right. Well, on that note, it's time to head for the Scarlet. Man, we've got to get something else booked.
Well, we're going to get the Horizon booked, so it'll be all good.
It's time to head for the Scarlet Lady. And until next time, seize the day.
Have a fantastic week, everybody. All right. Well, thank you guys if you're still watching after the credits, and thank you again, Brian. This is the time we just kind of wrap up with something. You got anything to wrap up on?
Well, I was going to talk about what we talked about before, but I guess if it was before, then the people just listening don't know about it.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So, those of you that listen to us. Oh, first of all, let me apologize for our last week's episode for it coming out like a week late. Because although we did it live when we were supposed to, we waited a week before editing it and putting it up.
We're behind on some stuff. So
yeah.
We'll get caught up
I
soon,
just feel like I
hopefully.
have no time to do things, and I've got plenty of time. Anyways, so those of you that have now listened to that episode knows that we went to Repticon.
Yes.
To get mice for the creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And our intention was to purchase dead animals. Like
yes,
mice.
Frozen animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we of course walked out with a live animal.
On purpose, not on accident.
Yes.
Just to be clear. Yes, this little cutie right here, which is named Churro.
Yes, his name is Churro.
And Churro is a Mexican spiny tail. With Brian, bye Brian, thanks again for hanging out. But this is a Mexican spiny-tailed iguana, not a green iguana, so they are not illegal in Florida. Fortunately, they're from Western Mexico, basically, and they look green when they're babies, but when they become adults, this is his dad actually, so they'll get black with yellow on there. They're called sometimes banana iguanas, or banana pectinata is their scientific name. But yeah, so we've got another lizard, yet another lizard, Kimbra.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get like a 5-bedroom house.
No,
for everything that we
need
have.
to just kind of stop, because
I think
we're going to be maxed out.
I think we're done. The only
For big
other thing
things, we're definitely maxed
I would
out.
like to have a gargoyle gecko.
Thank you, Kenneth.
But it only needs something very small. It doesn't need a big space.
Right.
So
Yeah. I'm just looking because I got a text here.
Oh, it's probably the same one I got.
Oh, yeah. Just Brian saying thank you. Thank you, Brian. And thank you, Noah, for coming on. Yeah, when they get back, we'll have to get the kids on. He's got 2 kids, and I think we'll get them on and maybe talk about cruising as a kid, pre-COVID, post-COVID, not pre-COVID. No more COVID.
No more COVID.
I mean, during COVID. We're not post-COVID yet. I'll be happy when we can say that.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, that's yeah. Uwana. Dan's producers say
stop
Uwana.
talking for a minute.
Okay.
I think that's probably
Is
long
that
enough.
okay? That wasn't actually a minute, but
That's fine.
We also went over because that was a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So we are well into the Down Under Cruisers live time right now. So if you are still watching us and you're like they're not really talking about a lot of stuff anymore, go over to the Down Under Cruisers and check out them. They are, I believe, doing their live right now. Yep, says see you at our live, folks, and that was at 9:50 Eastern time. So go check them out. And yeah, I think we're probably going to sign out, right?
In a minute. Dan asked a question though that we didn't answer.
Oh yeah,
because
what's your
we were
question,
talking
Dan?
about. It's right there. So what's the difference between?
Oh, okay.
Carry on.
Well, carry on. You just talk about it over and over again. Just carry on about it. No, carry on is a term I believe used to describe dead things. So like a dead carcass, basically. Roadkill would be carry on. Whereas detritus is going to be like this, like smaller things, like on a bacterial level, breaking down stuff in the environment. Am I right? Am I close on
Google
those?
says carry on, a high quality form of detritus.
Okay, so it's more composed.
Yeah, it says that is composed entirely of dead animal matter. Detritus.
The basal trophic level of the decomposer world. This is composed of debris or dead organic material. So detritus is like what things like snails and beetles and stuff will break down other organic material into, or it's the smaller bits, basically, the more broken down bits of carry-on. Yeah.
Cool.
Stacy, I know lots of interesting information about the Scarlet Lady. I thought we were going to talk to Brian and be like, okay, we're just kind of confirming or denying everything we've heard about the Scarlet Lady, but he had a lot of information that I didn't know and was not expecting. So that was really exciting to get that take on it, and it does make me more excited.
I'm more excited about the food now. Like I know we were kind of like, I don't know about some of these restaurants, but I think we should book them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't love everything we eat, we just go grab something from somewhere else.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I think we should try as many of the food venues as we can, because it sounds like they are pretty cool.
Yes, just hopefully we're not too late to book them, because some of them were already kind of full.
But from what he was saying, it sounds like we could get on the ship and book them if we miss them on the app.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll be the end of the world kind of a thing. All right. The dog is pretty much.
Yeah, I think he's done.
And making us stop. So yes, he's now licking me with his wet nose.
So it's time.
It's time.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys.